Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. Today I would like to cook with you or bake with you a coffee cake with berries. Lots of yummy, delicious, healthy berries. Strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. You care to put some peaches in, you can also add some peaches. And this cake my grandma used to make for us when we came and visited. For holidays, especially for holidays, the smell of yeast was always in the house. She had this old-fashioned brick built-in oven. She used wood to start the fire. I cannot see anything like this anymore, but just, wonderful memories. Coffee cake with berries. I need half a cup of sugar, 3 full cups of flour, dry yeast, 1 stick of butter, vanilla extract or vanilla sugar, 3 to 4 egg yolks, depending how big your eggs are, and about cup and 1/3 of warm milk, and 1 tablespoon of honey into that milk, so I can dissolve my yeast. And first thing I do is, of course, put the honey in that milk and dissolve my yeast. Sugar helps the yeast get active. Honey, I just love the flavor of honey, so instead of sugar, I like to put honey in. That's what I do first, because I have to wait a few minutes until my yeast gets active. And now it's time to put all the ingredients together. And for that, I need a big bowl. So my flour goes in, sugar goes in, the eggs, the butter, the extract, everything goes in. And butter, of course, you need softened. And some vanilla sugar. And a few drops of the vanilla extract. And now you can see my yeast is ready. So I have to put it all in together here. And mix it with a spatula first and finish it with my hands in a little bit. It will take about 5 minutes to work with your hands. And as you can see, it is coming together, and it takes about 5 minutes to work with it. Very soft, sticky, and that's how it should be. So your cake is not dense, but fluffy. And now it is time to cover it. And leave it covered until it doubles in size for about an hour. It may be a little bit less if it's really warm in your house, but on average it takes about an hour. If it's colder in your house, it might be a little bit longer than 1 hour. While I'm waiting for my dough to be ready, I washed my berries. I have some strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries, and I will just put it on a paper towel on a plate. I have about 3 tablespoons of butter. I will put 4 tablespoons of sugar, and you can mix brown sugar here too if you like brown sugar, and about 4 tablespoons of flour, and just mix it all up. My neighbor loves the crumble and she loves the sweets, so I have to make sure I have enough to cover the whole cake. So with the crumble, the texture is the key. You'll know if you have enough butter or not when you crumble. When you squeeze it like that, and it comes together in one piece, but then if you want to break it, it breaks easily. So your crumble is ready. Okay, time to put the cake together. Of course, I will need a pan. and of course my berries. And I'm gonna divide this in half. So with that cake, it will flatten when you touch it, but we need a second rise. I will take some of the blueberries, my first layer. So yes, you can put the whole dough and then just put berries on top, and that's easier. But I noticed every time I make this cake that the fruits give that dough more moisture. And if all the fruits is on top, then the bottom is more on the drier side. And I like to have my berries all over the place and not just on top. So that's why I like to do it this way. And you can choose, you know, the other way. And here I'm just going to put layers, you know, small layers. So break pieces, and just to cover those berries a bit, make sure your berries are dry. Use paper towel to, after you wash your berries, use paper towel to dry them. It just gives this artistic mess. That's what I call it, artistic mess. When you do it like that, it looks sloppy, but once it's baked with the crumble on top, it's not going to be like this. Okie dokie, and here my it is spring now. Some of the berries start to be in season. And now when it's all ready like this, cover it. And it will take about 30 minutes, second rise. And my crumble will go on the end. I don't want to put any sugar on top of the berries because berries release juices. And the whole cake, the dough will become very soggy, very wet. So the crumble will go just before I have to put my cake into the oven. And it has been half an hour, and you can see that the dough did rise up quite nicely. So now the last part is putting the crumble on top. And while I'm doing this, my oven is preheating to about 350 degrees. So again, you don't want to put sugar or the crumble has sugar right away on those fruits, because those fruits will release their juices with the sugar and dough will become very soggy, wet. That's why now is perfect time to put the crumble on top to finish up and put your cake in the oven. There is one more cake I would like to make, hopefully next week, and it will be, half of it will be like a softer type of a cake, and in the middle there will be a cheesecake and then peaches on top with the crumble. So again, 350 degrees for about 35 minutes, and then I will put a toothpick inside the dough to check if it's ready or not. It will be between 35-45 minutes of baking. 350, and the cake goes in. So timer for 35 minutes. So 35 minutes is the first checkup. Time for coffee. Time for checkup. I think almost there. I would say 5 more minutes and our cake will be ready. Final moment. Whew. And look at this beautiful cake. Oh, the strawberries smell so good. So now I have to wait until it cools off a little bit and I cut it and show it to you. Oh, smells so yummy. And here is that cake. I waited enough to be able to cut a piece to give you a closer look how the layer of the blueberries came out, and you can see it on the bottom and the strawberries on top. The cake is very fluffy, very soft, moist because of all the berries, and you can see the berries on every side of the cake. Just delicious goodness. Enjoy it. Smacznego. Until next time. Thank you for watching. If it comes to measuring your flour for pastry, any pastry, I am a big fan of scale, because this is exact. It will give you exact measurements versus giving you measurements in cups, because it really is how you handle the flour. If you move it around, it's not gonna be 4 cups anymore. You know, it loses its volume because it becomes dense. So you keep adding, right? Well, but it's much more heavier. It's much more flour that you need. So if you ever had a cake and you tried to follow the measurements and directions and the cake wasn't quite the way you hoped, it wasn't as fluffy, it wasn't as delicate, it wasn't as soft, well, maybe because there was too much flour. So it's just a tip, and I hope you will find it helpful to kind of pay attention to how we handle flours.